So this is part two of joint health, and so what I wanted to say is this second part is about um, the exercise part of it, and so um, for example, a lot of people have knee issues and ankle issues, hip socket issues, and uh, shoulder issues, wrist and elbows, even fingers. A lot of it is buildup of inflammation and arthritis and so on. So one of the things that really works is swimming. Swimming is amazing. You can go sit in the hot tub and then jump in the pool and then come back and sit in the hot tub again. I know some people swear by doing like laying in cold baths or and stuff like that, and some people swear by sitting in warm. Myself, because of all the injuries that I've had, um, I try. I can go out and work and I can run and jog in the snow with just stuff like this, a hoodie, and um, I've had really good luck with it, but I I do not like getting it. I don't like jumping into a lake or something like that and where it's cold. Even though the water is not quite as cold as when I've been running in like negative 25, stuff like that. It's um the as far as exercises go, swimming is fantastic. It really is. It really helps the shoulders and the spine, because when you're twisting, when you're using if you do that particular swim, but if you're swimming and doing your legs, that helps out the hip sockets, helps out the spine from the lumbar up, throughout your thoracic. um, and even your neck, because you're going to be moving it, and there's no real resistance on it. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously water gives you a resistance, but like it's not like if you throw a head harness on and you're pumping out like you're moving 50 pounds or whatever. It's not the same thing. Um, uh, Swimming is excellent. It really is excellent exercise, and um, if you can't swim, you can always get flotation, devices. You can hold on to a couple of noodles and swim, or there's all kinds of stuff that you can use. You can stay in the shallow end too, and um, hold your breath and come back up. There's just all kinds of uh, ways to do swimming to better your health. Um, and as far as like the knees and the ankles and the hip sockets again, um, bike riding is excellent. But at the same time, you don't want to. If you're a taller person, you kind of need to have like a the right height of a bike. If you're like 6'5" or something like that, you probably need to have like 28, or I think there's a 30 or 32 inch tire bike. And so, like myself, I think I have to sit at 26 or 28. I'm not sure. I used to ride like BMX all the time, and I can't ride them anymore because they kill my legs, like my actual knees and hip sockets. And it just happened out of the blue, and so I don't do those anymore. But bicycling is absolutely amazing. You can get, I mean, not only are you going to build up your joints, fix your joints in a sense. There won't be 100%. A lot of, but you'll be surprised just by moving them, lightly, going through motions. And I'm not talking like, because there's like a fine line between repetitive injuries and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, it's not like a post office job where you're doing a particular movement where you're raising your shoulder up and out, so then you get like tendonitis or elbow issues and stuff. Like what I'm talking about is, um, when you bike ride, it is actually, if your leg is no less than uh, or no more than 90 degrees. Like, you got to be at 90. And then if you go too far, then you open up the knee more. And I think that's where a lot of issues come in. I mean, they say that biking is the best exercise that there is for knees. So anybody that has knee issues, most of the time, bicycling is the best thing. In fact, that's all I've ever heard is biking is the best. And I've heard conflicting stories where people talk about, if you want to get strong joints and stuff like that, you need to go weightlift. But there's certain points, like, people that doesn't work for everybody. Like, you can't just have somebody go weightlift and you know have good luck with everything. Like, if they've got certain health issues where they can't have a lot of load bearing, on them. Like, I talked to a guy that had the same thing as me going on. He herniated his lumbar, his thoracic, and his cervical. And a bodybuilder, the guy was a professional bodybuilder, and it just happened. This guy had just herniated his all his back and neck, and it wasn't even 6 months later, and this bodybuilder had him squatting, deadlifting, and bench pressing. And I'm just like, and I told the guy, I was like, I'm not I'm not that guy, but I'm gonna tell you right now, because he was paying him like $800 a month for as a trainer. And I'm like, first of all, you're not gonna look like that guy ever. You'll never look like him. This is their ploy. This is how they get people you know, to give them tons of money, is they think that somehow they're gonna look like you or look like them, and you're not. So I said that you can still look really good, you can be healthy, but you got to do it right. You don't need to be doing that. I've seen guys uh, that ride mountain bikes or ride bikes in general, and they ride hills. They hit hills and they do things like that. They hike, they run, they walk stairs. Um, with a little bit of a weight pack, they're doing lunges and stuff like that. And they're not having, uh, they don't have tiny legs. You're not going to have mass monster legs either, but, you're going to be very athletic. Like, if you go do athletic stuff there, you're going to be athletic, so, um, and obviously if you have health issues and you can't squat, then obviously you're limited to things. Myself, I'm limited to, because I've got the three herniations and they're not healing up right. They're still, I'm still sitting at, you know, at a kind of a crappy amount of uh, low level of weight is all I can do right now. Like, it's crazy. Like, I do, as soon as I go past 250 pounds, I have a lot of back pain. And so um, it just happens, it's just the way things are sometimes, you have to adapt. So the love of weightlifting that I had and odd object lifts are pretty much gone. I mean, I can't do those things anymore, and I had to come to terms with that. It really, really upset me. I fell into a severe depression over it, because I couldn't lift. And it's but I found that I love bike riding. I love jumping on a trampoline. And I'll be honest with you, when I was doing all that stuff, my legs were athletic. I could jump. I had a really good box jump. When I jumped on a trampoline, because I did squats for years and I could not jump. I didn't have a good box jump at all. I was at 3 feet at most. Like, actually, I was at 32 inches is what it was. Not quite 3 feet, which is 36 inches. I was at 32 inches, and so I started jumping on a trampoline. I quit doing squats. My thighs, they slightly leaned up. I think they were like half an inch smaller than what they usually are. I jumped for like 30 minutes all the time. That was just my thing. I love to jump. So I would jump and jump and jump. And um, I ended up uh, box jumping 4 feet, 48 inches. Um, I I have a video where I box jump 42 inches. My 48-inch one didn't turn out, which I know how that sounds, but I didn't have it set up right. And right after that is when I herniated my lumbar, and I've, in that accident, and so I've been having issues catching back up, But um, there's things that, and I'm not saying jump on a trampoline because I don't. Some people have severe issues with their back, and trampolining, with that extra weight that's coming down, and then, it's gonna squish the discs. So I would suggest not jumping on a trampoline. Um, but bike riding and swimming are absolutely amazing. Go rock climb. I know obviously there are people that are heavy built people that can't rock climb. I get it, but there's things like bouldering. You can go to a park and do monkey bars. People don't realize, man, all that kind of stuff is really, really good for you. Like you can get really strong that way. Um, and I've said this before, but there's a calisthenics guy. He was, I think they call him like 300 or something like that. And I haven't looked him up. I started following him years ago, a couple years ago, and I haven't seen anything on him yet again. But he's a 300-pound dude, and he does calisthenics workouts, and he built himself up. I mean, I don't know what his backstory was, but there's a ton of people just like him, and what they do is they have issues, not, I don't know about this guy, like I said. Some other guys had issues, and gals, and they're like, yeah, man, I had to get back in shape, I'd been injured or whatever, and they had to go super, super light, and so they got into calisthenics, and they were doing like one rep at a time, one rep. And that's what I had to do with my left shoulder. I started doing chin ups, and then I tore both my biceps. I fell at work and tore all that. And so um, it took a long time to get back. When I started doing chin ups again, the supinated chin ups, palms toward the body, when I pulled up, my biceps popped. I don't know what the hell popped in them, but they both popped. And it scared me at first. And here it is. I think it was 2014 when I tore them. So it was about 7 years ago, essentially, almost 8, when I tore them. And I myself, I mean, obviously there's not a lot of people that can do, I mean, they can do an actual pull up, where they pull themselves up. Um, you can, like, if you can't, you can always do a lateral one where you're laying sideways, and you're looking at the sky, and you pull yourself up, on a bar that way. That's also considered a pull up. It's an Australian pull up or an Australian chin up. I can't remember what they call it, but that builds your biceps, grip, lats, back, spine muscles, pelvis. There's all kinds of stuff like that. There's stabilization exercises that you can do. If you want to build up your legs too and your hip area, test things out. Do a horse stance, martial arts horse stance. Look them up so you're doing the right form. Do things like that. You can do lunges. Just make sure you're doing them right. But the safest ones are just going and swimming and going and bike riding and go rock climb. If you do those simple 3 exercises right there, you'll be surprised how freaking athletic you'll become and how your pain will disappear. Um, I know that's a little bit of a crazy rant, and kind of a bunch of different areas, but just hear me out, check it out, and those are the exercises. The other thing is find a yoga stretching program and learn yoga. You won't be sorry. Um, and yes, manly men do yoga. But anyway, y'all take care.